Grand rising to all my kings and queens this morning. I hope you guys are having a beautiful and marvelous day, morning, evening. Welcome to Life in Your Eyes podcast. I am your host, Net, aka Nothing But Net, Tokyo or Chief Dance Fire. Man, I hope you guys listened to last week's episode because that shit was so powerful. Chapter. It was chapter 2, 2022. If you guys haven't seen it yet or listened to it, please go follow me at Life in Your Eyes with 2 E's on all social media platforms. But to hear the full audio, it's on my YouTube page. Same thing, Life in Your Eyes with 2 E's. So my brother was my special guest, AD, aka Chief Strong Eagle. Go follow him on social media also. And we pretty much was talking about what's been going on in 2022, since the beginning, you feel me? And when we were talking about that, we was talking about everything, that's been going on, like with the shutdown, the prices going up, just everything, and pretty much going into being indigenous to the land. But just stay tuned because this is about to be crazy. This episode, it's about to be amazing. So this chapter is called Embracing Yourself. But before I started to record this chapter, I just had so many thoughts actually this past couple weeks, just thinking about so many things in my mind. And it's crazy because the quote that I picked for this chapter was picked 3 weeks ago. Let me say that first. So I try to stay ahead of the game when I write my chapters out and, have my questions ready, beforehand. So I did this quote 3 weeks ago and I was just like, oh, that would be amazing for embracing yourself. So that's when I started getting more, not saying getting into it more, but if you guys haven't heard of Rod Hayes, go check out Rod Hayes. Like I said, follow my brother at Chief Strong Eagle and look at all his videos he posts about Rod Hayes. It's some powerful shit, and that's what it's gonna lead to this whole thing I'm about to get into with you guys today. So leading back to me picking this quote 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh, that would be amazing to go with, embracing yourself with the chapter's title. So the quote of the day is, make peace with your broken pieces. And that is by R.H. Sin. I'm gonna say it again. Make peace with your broken pieces. And when I thought about that quote a couple weeks ago, I was just like, oh yes, that's so good for that chapter. And these past 3 weeks, I just been in so much in my thoughts, trying to figure out, what's been going on with my body. I just been having so many problems lately that I don't, share with anyone. I always keep my problems to myself, or how I feel about other people. I keep it to myself. If people know me, if people really fuck with me heavy, they know what type of person I am and my personality is. I always give my all to people, and sometimes I feel like I never receive that back. But I'm sorry, getting off topic, but with making peace with your broken pieces, that I went through that process when I was in a relationship, my last relationship, and that was 6 years ago. And in that relationship, I thought everything was peaches and cream. I gave my all in that relationship. And before I say this, I'm pretty much sharing, and I love that I named this topic, my podcast, Life in Your Eyes, because you get to see and feel how I felt in this process of what I'm about to say. So, and I'm definitely, let me just get into it. So I was raised in the church my whole life. you know what I'm saying, growing up as a kid. And as a kid, you make promises, you know, to the church and to your parents. And me, I'm sorry, I made a promise to wait to marriage, you know, to have sex. And I went through all through middle school, high school, you know, not having sex, you know, being committed, because, you know, I made a promise. And I'm sorry. And the guy that I was dating, I think I was 23, 24. I just got out of basic training at AIT. I just got home because I was in the National Guard. And I was so committed to, I was such in love with this guy that I literally gave my all. And I broke that promise. And it hurt so bad after the fact, because like me and this guy, we talked about, you know, having a family. We were about to move in together and everything. And then he cheated on me. And that was a broken piece of me. That broke me. Because I gave him everything. I literally gave him my all. And I didn't wait to marriage to have sex. So that was my broken pieces. And it was even harder to tell my parents what happened too after we broke up, and explaining to them, you know, about the whole situation and me not waiting to marriage, and seeing my parents cry was so heartbreaking. And it hurt me so bad to see my parents look like they were so disappointed in me that I didn't wait. And then that was just, it was horrible. And the fact that I gave myself to him made me even more attached to him. So even after we were done, I would still go back to him because he had that piece of me that no one ever had. So that always made him and I connected no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And leading to, this was in 2016? Yes, 2016. And we broke up in that summer. It was like right after I got back from AT for training with the Army. And that's when we broken up. And after that, I felt like, it's like after that broke me, I didn't know myself. And that made me lose my self-confidence, my self-passion. It made me lose myself to the point where I didn't care who I had sex with. And then that December, I got sick. And my parents had to take me to the hospital. And I wasn't living with them at that time. I had my own place with a roommate. And my parents picked me up because I was at work that night. I was a supervisor at Ross, and I had such this sore pain in the side of my hip, and it just wouldn't go away. And then so that night when I went home, I took like some aspirin. I woke up like around 2 or 3 in the morning, and I called my parents. I'm like, I can't breathe, like my side hurts, I can't get out of bed. And my parents only lived like 15 minutes away from me. So my parents, you know, hurried up and came to my apartment and took me straight to the hospital. And then after we get there, they put me on morphine, all this type of medicine, and they were just like, oh, your large intestine is inflamed. We'll just give you, you know, some kind of medication, and we'll just send you on your merry way. Sorry, excuse me. They gave me some medication, and they set me on my way. And they was like, well, if it doesn't get better in the next couple of days, come back. So I might stayed with my parents that whole time, and my parents was watching me, you know, while I take the medication and everything. And it just kept getting worse. And I'm just like, Mom and Dad, I'm like, this feeling is not going away. It just keeps getting worse and worse. And it was like 2.5 days later, they were just like, it was to the point where every time I took a deep breath or tried to breathe, my side was cramping. I had to hold my side when I pee. I had to hold my side anytime I tried to do anything. So my parents was like, okay, we're taking you back to the hospital. So they took me back to the hospital, and they was like, weren't you here a couple days ago? And I'm like, yes, the pain just kept getting worse. It's not getting better. And then they was like, okay, we're gonna do this x-ray, do this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then they come back, and they were just like, oh yeah, your daughter's appendix is about to burst. She has to get surgery. And I'm just like, how in the hell did they not see this 3 fucking days ago? Like, how did 3 days make a huge difference with my appendix? So right off there, I'm just like, okay, like they missed something, but whatever. So I went to surgery the next morning. This was like a day before Christmas. And I went into surgery, and then when I woke up, my mom was there, and she was sitting on my back. And she was like, they got your appendix in time before, you know, it burst. And they said, she said they had to take my fallopian tubes because it was filled with pus, and it was 3 times larger than it was supposed to be. So I'm just sitting there in shock because I just, you know, just woke up, and I'm asking her, what does that mean? She was like, you can't have kids naturally. And after she said that to me, that broke me down so hard. Because it was like, it was just like a domino effect of me giving myself to someone and him hurting me. It is like, I felt like it was payback to myself for going out and doing something I shouldn't have done. And it was like payback, you know? And it was to the point where I had to see a therapist because I was so broken even more. I was hurt. And I carried that for so many years. So many years. And I was still not embracing myself in this process. I was beating myself down. So to that point where every time someone asked me, or when I had, you know, sex with someone else, they'd be like, I would sabotage myself saying, no, I can't have kids. And they'd be like, why? And I'm just like, because my tubes got removed. Like, it was to the point where I was making myself believe that I can't have kids. And I kept putting that in my mind through this whole process because I was so broken. So I kept making myself even broken more on top of me embracing everyone's negativity towards me. So the fact that I was so broken from these domino effects and hearing other people's opinions about me, on top of me hurting myself with my negative thoughts, that made me so broken. I felt like I was just beneath earth. I was in the dirt. I was nothing to nobody. And I thought like that for so many years, so many years. And it was to the point where I had to start thinking positive. Like I will always say positive things to like other people, give them, you know, motivational quotes, motivational speeches, but I wasn't embracing what I was telling other people. And it took me so long to fix those broken pieces, because it was to the point where it was eating me alive, literally. And I feel like that had to deal with why I was getting so sick so much, and why I've been having so much problems with my body, because I was damaging it by all the negativity I was giving myself, and having all these broken pieces and not fixing them. And by fixing those broken pieces, I had to forgive, truly. I had to truly forgive. And there was times where, like, leading up, so it took me 5 years, 4 or 5 years to forgive my ex, like truly forgive him. Because it was before that time, before him and I ever dated, I never had, you know, these type of problems. I've only dated 2 people in my whole entire life. He was the 3rd person I ever dated. So I never really knew, you know, a true relationship like him and I had. And we still have that bond as friends, you know what I'm saying? It took me so much time to, you know, really truly forgive him, because leading up to the 4 or 5 years, him and I would still mess around. And in my head, you know, oh, you're still in love with him. He's always, you know, he's your first, you know, you're always going to be attached to him. And then on the other hand, I'm just like, girl, you know that you guys are not going to be together, because he still hasn't figured himself out as a person. And that was, you know, I feel like that was somewhat, you know, a struggle in our relationship, because to me, for myself, I really felt like I was always the one I was giving my all in the relationship. It was to the point, to me, like how I saw it, I was always paying for everything. And it was rare, literally rare, when he actually paid for stuff. And he didn't have a license. I drove everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing everything, but I knew he was getting himself together. So I didn't really saw that as a flaw in him. You know what I'm saying? Because he is a really great person, and he has an amazing personality. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we're still friends. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it took me some time to forgive, but now we're cordial. You know what I'm saying? It took me up to, like, you know, 5 years to forgive him, because, like I said, we were still messing around when I knew, like I was saying, like I knew I shouldn't have been messing with him, because he still had to figure himself, you know, as a person. And I knew that. And that's why I always believed in him. Anytime he said something to me, you know, I kept pushing him towards his dream. You know, I was the type of person that would, and I'm always that person, I would give my all and be like, you have dreams, goals, go pursue them. Do what you have to do to be successful. But don't beat me down for trying to push you to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And my brother and I somewhat talked about that in the previous chapter in 2022. But it's like, once I actually really forgave him, I felt like a weight was literally lifted off my shoulder. Like, I felt like a brand new person. Because it was like, I had so much love for him and so much hate for him. But that hate was consuming me, because I was still so hurt. It was almost like I felt like I had PTSD from that. And for those next couple years, you know, after that, through, you know, before being, you know, healing in my mind, in my body, my soul, my mind will literally think about the scenario, and I would just replay the scenario and replay it and replay it and replay it. And it was horrible, to the fact it was making my body numb. And and that's bad. It was to the point, like, if I felt that type of way, I'm like, okay, I need to get a tattoo to feel the numbing of my body from a different type of pain, because that pain was so deep in my soul, literally in my soul. Like, I literally made myself have PTSD from replaying the effects and replaying the story of everything that happened leading up to like why he cheated on me. And I kept, blaming myself for it. And I kept saying, okay, Nat, what did you do wrong? You did this, you did that. And after, really, really forgiving him, I'm just like, now when I think about it, I'm just like, wow, Nat, you really did this for this guy? Like, you really cried over this guy for this many years. But it all happened for a reason. It truly, truly, really happened for a reason. Because through this process, it's making me step into my true destiny in life. And that's to reach others and touch their souls, with my stories and how I see life in my eyes and how you see others' life in their eyes. And leading back to the quote, making peace with your broken pieces, after I made that peace with my broken pieces, I felt whole. But still, I was not embracing myself, because I still had, negative thoughts, in my mind, and remembering what people said, over the years. Because it's like everything, it's like when people see that you are thriving and they know you about to be successful, that's when they be trying to, come around, front, back, side to side, through the door, through the cracks, through everywhere. And it seems like when I'm trying to elevate, those people be trying to distract me. And I've been noticing those distractions. But leading back to embracing yourself, I had this powerful vision, this powerful vision before I was about to record this episode. Because I like to write down, like when I'm speaking to you guys, when I don't have guests, I literally take a whole week to write down what I want to tell you guys about yourself and my episodes. So I literally had like 3 pages, and I narrowed it down to 2, like what I was going to talk about, in the chapter of embracing yourself. But like I said, these past couple weeks, I just been having so many thoughts, running through my head. And leading up to my vision before recording this episode, my brothers and I are indigenous to the land. And I'm not going to get too much into it, because you guys will have to watch these videos on my brother's page at Chief Strong Eagle. My middle brother, his name is Chief Strong Eagle. My mother gave him that name. My name is Chief Dancefire. My mother gave me that name also. And she named my older brother Mighty Warrior. So the vision, the vision that I was having made the picture of my life so much clearer. Because before, you guys remember when I said before, I grew up in church. And, when I'm older now, I was going to church, but I just never felt, that true connection with God. Like, I never felt that real, genuine connection I see people that, have with God. And when I learned more about where I came from. So my mom, she's full Puerto Rican. Her family's from Puerto Rico. And my dad's family, he's from here. They're from, where are they from? From, I know they're from Ohio and some other states. But the only thing I'm going to say, because I have to watch more of it and you guys have to watch it on my brother's page, but my their parents, great, they are indigenous to this land. So that makes me and my brother indigenous to this land. And when I'm really thinking about that, and now when I've been watching more videos about it, I'm just like, damn, a lot of shit is really making, sense in my life and what's, really been going on. And this video I watched, I think it was like a day or two ago. And it was, I gotta look it up. I think his name was Dr. Valentine. And he was talking about, for when you speak negativity, you embar that in your mind. And when you keep saying it and when you keep thinking it and you keep telling people, you making that as if you really know that you can't do that. So that leads to me saying, I kept, thinking, and I kept telling people I can't have kids. No, I can't have kids. And I kept repeating that for so many years when I was in that broken stage, until after I got out that stage. Now I'm saying, yes, I can have kids naturally. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do that. So now that I keep saying it, now I feel like my body is changing to pretty much embracing what I should have been saying the whole time instead of beating myself down about it. And that leads to me saying, when my mother gave us these names, and me understanding, more of how my brothers and I are indigenous to this land, I'm just like, damn, now these names, because I kept asking my mom, I was like, what's the, my older brother, Stefan, I'm like, what was his name? What was his name? What was his name? And she finally told me. And then these past couple of days, I'm just like, damn, I was like, man, I feel like I need to talk about something else on chapter 3, but I'm just like, it's not coming to me. I'm not seeing it. I'm not, what's going on? Like, my stomach was hurting. And now I'm literally starting to pull the pieces together, and I'm just like, damn. And I literally just had a vision, and it was just like, it literally just popped in my head. I'm just like, oh my fucking gosh. It was to the point where I was literally bawling my eyes out, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, this all makes sense. It all makes sense. And I'm just like, damn, like it's like my eyes are just like open to literally a new world. And I'm definitely gonna have my mom come up here on an episode, and she's gonna talk to you guys about why she gave us these names. And you guys will understand, the true meaning of why this shit is so fucking powerful. So the only thing I'm gonna say about my vision was, since my middle brother and I were called chiefs, so we're gods and goddesses of this land, this indigenous land. And how my vision showed me is that my brother, our older brother, is a mighty warrior, because he's protecting us. He's the mightiest of them all. And he's protecting the gods and goddesses of this indigenous land. And when I saw that vision, I'm just like, damn, I've never seen something like this in my life. And like I said before, I was I was raised in the church my whole life, and I never had, visions at all. Like, I've always had like gut feelings, but I never had a vision that was so clearly in front of me. Like, I felt like I was right there, like living in it at that time. Like, I'm living in the future. I'm already seeing what's about to happen. I'm already seeing us living in palaces and my brother being the mighty warrior protecting us. I'm already seeing it in front of me. And that was just so powerful. And I'm just like, damn. Now I see what my brother was really trying to tell me. Like, I really need to open my eyes to what's really going on in this world and how we are indigenous to this land. And I just been thinking about that and thinking about it. I'm just like, and like I said with that quote, and it really all makes sense to me now, because now when I think about it, when my ex did that to me, that happened for the right reason. For the doctors to say that I can't have kids, that happened at the right time for the right reason. That was to make sure that my mind is prepared and ready for what's to come next, and to get the future ready for what's about to come for our people. It was all a plan from the beginning, and it's just like, it's mind-blowing, and it's just like, I just can't explain it, how amazing this feels to really see. I'm really seeing what my brother was really talking about. And it hurts, and it's exciting, and it's new. It's an amazing feeling, and I never felt like this before, ever. It's so crazy how it was really in front of me, but I had to wait to the right moment and the right time. So my brother, he's always been talking about this for years. You know what I'm saying? He already knew. He already knew, man. When I tell y'all, my brother already knew. He's been saying this shit for years, and we never listened. And now I see why. Now I'm starting to listen. I'm really starting to really open my ears, but I wasn't at the right place it wasn't my time yet. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my time to embrace what was really going on. Now that I have my eyes wide open and my ears, listening, I'm starting to embrace what's really going on, in the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm really understanding how we're really indigenous to this land. And now I just have my first vision of what I'm about to see in the future, and how those names that came upon with my mother, it was all from the beginning. Everything happened for a reason. Now I'm speaking to existence. I'm going to have kids. The next person that I have a serious relationship with, I'm going to have kids with. I'm speaking that, you know what I'm saying? But that vision was so fucking powerful, man. I can't even, it was just so much excitement. And that, I was crying, y'all. I was literally crying, because it was just amazing to really starting to embrace who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm really now truly understanding myself, because now I've been separating myself from distractions. Now I'm really seeing what is just distracting me from, reaching my highest goal, and that's reaching to my gods and goddesses out there in this world. You know what I'm saying? With my podcast, with me speaking, with me just doing anything, reaching them, letting them know that they're indigenous to this land. You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm ready, now I'm cutting off my distractions. Now I'm embracing who I am, because I'm learning about my ancestors, where they come from. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm embracing that, now I'm starting to know who I truly am as a person and what my purpose is to do in this world. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm gonna just leave it at that, y'all. That was just, I'm not gonna even talk about what I was about to talk about because it wasn't meant to be talked about. This was meant to reach y'all today. I was meant to talk about this message and my vision to you guys today. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, I'm so pumped I'm ready, y'all. I'm ready to see, I'm ready for what the future holds. And if you guys know, you guys need to learn more about this because this shit is so powerful. To learn more about, you know, what's going on for the indigenous people, go follow my brother at Chief Strong Eagle on his YouTube page. He has over 100 videos. Them videos is fucking powerful. But that is the end of chapter 3. Please go follow me at all social media at Life in Your Eyes with 2 E's. And man, y'all need to stay tuned for next episode because the topic is what is it like to be Black in America. Until next time, life is what we make it, y'all.